There's my boss, who was really my first boss, who gave me like some serious Abby Lee Miller vibes. I have my second manager, which was giving me real high school vibes. Yeah, she was just giving me really high school vibes. That's really all I can say about that in the allotted time. Welcome back to my channel, guys. So recently, or not recently, but like a few months ago, I started working after months of job searching. So for the past few months, I've been pretty busy with that, and I really wanted to update you guys. So today I'm taking the time to kind of like share my first work experience with you guys. I work in retail, so I feel as though the experiences are gonna be pretty similar across the board. So if you're curious to find out how my work life has been, keep on watching this video, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos, and comment down below any questions you may have about working in general. I'm actually in a very uncomfortable position right now, but I'm gonna try to suck it up for the sake of this video. So let's get started. The first thing that I want to talk about is the onboarding process. It took me a very long time to get on board. Like, I was hired, but it took me a long time before I was actually able to get started. When I did get started, I started seeing how many applicants we get each day. We get so many applicants, so many people calling, and the truth is these managers really don't care. Like, they were in no hurry to get me on board until they absolutely needed me. And my manager told me that if somebody calls asking about their application, just straight up tell them that we're not hiring. And I know in a lot of videos on, like, you know, getting a job or whatever, they tell you to call and, like, you know, check up on your application, but where I work probably will not slide. So yeah, these places are not really gonna be interested in your application until they start actively hiring, unless they like actually need people to fill roles. Yeah, this is pretty exciting. When I first got my job, I applied for the associate position. They needed a part-time manager, and she basically told me, my first manager, she just told me to take the role, and I was like, okay. It paid $1 extra, and I was just like, whatever, you know. The way she explained it, it didn't seem too complicated. So I am technically one of the managers at my workplace. I'm a part-time manager, not a full-time manager, but yeah, it comes with a lot of different responsibilities and like a regular associate. But I would say that the pay is not worth the amount of stress that I was put under during those first few months. But it's pretty cool to have my own set of keys and to, you know, have the power to do what I want and a little bit of authority and all this and all that. That part is pretty cool, but there are a lot of downsides to having that kind of power. Part-time manager, what power do I have? Now we're going to talk about the pay. So when I first started, okay, so the associates made $11 and managers made $12, so it was literally only $1 difference. Recently, the minimum wage in Maryland rose up, so the associates now make $11.75, and I and all the other managers now make $12.25. So it went from $1's difference to 50 cents. And I was honestly considering stepping down to be a regular associate, because I don't think that the amount that I'm getting paid now is really fair. The pay in general is not much. Since I'm still in school, I'm just looking for anything that pays, you know, like $12 an hour. I was super excited when I saw that. $12 an hour, like what? But yeah, I'm not really complaining, because you got to start somewhere. So now we're gonna talk about the hours. I would say that the distribution of hours can be very unfair sometimes. When the managers are making the schedules, I don't make the schedule, by the way. My boss makes the schedule. During the holiday season, we were getting so many hours. It was ridiculous. We were getting like 20 plus. I even started doing 40-hour weeks, which was tragic. 10 out of 10 would not recommend. But during the holiday season, everybody was getting a lot of hours, but then as soon as the holiday season slowed down, hours got cut tremendously. People started getting like 4 hours a week. Their paychecks would be less than $100, and I just would feel so bad, because as a manager, I do have more guaranteed hours. I still have, you know, a guarantee of at least 20 hours. I would say that's like the middle ground for me. Hours can get cut at any second, which is why a lot of people tend to leave, because, you know, if you're not making money, you got to go somewhere else where you can make money. So that's something to keep in mind. And it's not even the managers trying to be mean. It's literally just like the upper people get to decide how many hours you get. And where I work, the amount of hours that we get is determined by how we're doing in sales. So if you're doing better, if you're doing really good in sales, you get more hours. But even then, they don't gotta give you hours if they don't want to. If they don't like you, they don't have to give you hours. And that's another thing, is I've had a total of 3 store managers that I've worked with since I started in August, and I have noticed that, you know, each manager like had their people that they enjoyed working with, and then as a result of that like favoritism, they would get more hours. If a manager likes you, they will most likely give you more hours, and they will want to work with you more. But sometimes it's literally just luck. Sometimes there's not really much you can do to make a manager like you more. They might naturally gravitate towards a certain type of person. Like my last manager, she was a female and she kind of just had her girls. And then now I have a male manager and he kind of like, you know, gravitates towards the guys and all this and all that. So it really just depends on the person and what they like. And that can in turn affect, like, you know, your work experience. Because I know it has. The first manager I had, she excluded me so bad. She was definitely a guy's guy, and I don't know, she just wasn't as friendly with me as she was with like my male co-workers. Looking back, I'm just now like thinking about that, and you know, that's her preference, and she got fired, so I don't even care about that. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about the people. The people, honestly, whether they're customers or coworkers, it's honestly like the worst part of the job. The people, oh my gosh. I would say it's chill vibes for the most part, but sometimes these customers be getting on my last nerves. Sometimes my coworkers be getting on my last nerves, being messy as I don't know what. It's just a lot. And also another thing about like working in retail is that people come and go all the time. I'm not used to people being so temporary in my life. Ever since I started working, like the first time like somebody left, I was like in shock. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna miss them so bad. And now it's like I'm so used to people, you know, just being a lot more temporary and not sticking around for long, because that's literally just retail. People come and go. People go to wherever there's like a better opportunity, or if they get fired. It happens all the time. So you don't really want to get too attached to anybody, because they could literally be gone by next week. And that's literally just something I had to get used to, because like I said, I like people being permanent in my life, or long term at least. But so I've come across a lot of people during my time at the store, at the Stout. So there's this guy who has a crush on me, who I went to school with, who helped me get this job. There is this girl who I went to middle school with, who I did not like. She doesn't work here anymore. There's my boss, who was really my first boss, who gave me like some serious Abby Lee Miller vibes. There was this other boss, this other manager. She was just all over the place. She was a little bit crazy, but she was like my work mother. She got fired as well, but I still have her on Facebook. So I have my second manager, which was giving me real high school vibes. Yeah, she was just giving me really high school vibes. That's really all I can say about that in the allotted time. And I also had Workbay, who yeah, we're not gonna talk about that. But yeah, I got to know a lot of different people, my associates, my managers, customers. And one thing that I realized is that I am very sheltered. The type of people that you work with in retail, like a lot of them have had a hard life. I mean, like obviously my life is not perfect, but I do believe that I do have some privileges that a lot of people did not get, simply because of like the environment that they grew up in. So it kind of made me realize that. It made me a little bit more appreciative of my situation. You know, I got this job to gain some experience. You know, I could do without this job, but some people literally cannot deal without it. So I don't know, it was just kind of eye-opening for me. Another thing though, even though like it's these people's jobs, these managers are so freaking serious about this job, and they wanted me to be that serious. And I never had a job before, so I kind of just like was like, okay, I'm gonna be, you know, like passionate or whatever. Not passionate, but like I'll take it seriously. But it got to the point where they were putting so much stress on me, giving me so many hours, making me close every single night. It just got to the point where I was like burnt out, and it started interfering with my schoolwork as well, which is when it really became a problem, because I don't play with school, and neither do my parents, and my dad's the one who gives me a ride. So I mean, if it's messing with school, you know, he's not gonna give me no ride to work anymore. I do consider myself to be a people pleaser, so I didn't want to disappoint my bosses. I wanted to be perfect. I didn't want to, you know, do a bad job. So I kind of just like kind of overworked myself, overstressed myself. The amount of mental breakdowns I've had at that place is actually redonkulous. It's not even funny, but it's like ridiculous. There is another part-time manager. He's like the same age as me, and he's a lot more chill at work. Like, he doesn't get as stressed as I do. And I think part of the reason is because like he doesn't care as much, but another reason is because I feel like my managers were a little bit harsher on me than the other guy. One day I just started thinking, I was like, why do I care so much? After that, I started taking stuff a lot less seriously, and let me tell you, life has been 100 times better. 100 times better. Where I work as a manager, I was responsible for getting the store cleaned every single night. They wanted it to be 100% cleaned or whatever. And that's the thing, my first manager, she would have me closing every single night. It's as if she didn't want to take that responsibility. She put it all on me, and she would get on me every single night when it wasn't clean. But one, I was literally working with what I had. A lot of my coworkers, a lot of the associates, didn't know how to clean up the store. They weren't properly trained. I wasn't properly trained. Two, a lot of my associates literally just kind of sucked. They didn't want to do the work, and it's like, I'm not blaming you, but it's like, don't expect me to have the store cleaned if my workers are not, you know, working. I can't control that. You try to talk to them, you know, with some authority, they will not take you seriously. They don't care about the job, and I completely understand why. They wanted me to be like an authority figure, and it's like, that's literally just not how I am. I know how teenagers are. They don't care. And I honestly don't care anymore either. But so embarrassing thinking back to how I try to like tell them what to do and stuff, and it's like, if they don't listen to me in my normal voice, they're not gonna listen to me if I try to play tough guy, because that's not who I am. All right, so now we're gonna talk about the environment. The environment is very fast-paced. It took me a while to get used to it. I didn't realize how much of a slow walker I was until I started working in retail, because they be walking fast. So now whenever I get home, my feet be hurting. Like, I be moving now. I move a lot more now, which is like good that I'm like active or whatever. Sorry, I'm really trying to get comfortable. Like, I need a better setup. The actual work is pretty easy and repetitive. It gets boring sometimes. That's why you see a lot of people, you know, they might be on the phone with somebody, or they might listen to some music. That's what I do to like make the time pass by, because best believe I'm not gonna be talking to the customers. I don't want to talk to the customers to make time pass by. Like, no thank you. So let's talk about time management. Now, school is still my #1 priority, but when I first started working, or when they started overworking me, I was literally tired 24/7, and work did start to conflict with school. My managers would actually start putting me on times where I told them I had class. They would not listen to me, and there was a point in time where I was really about to quit. That was literally like January. I was really about to walk out, because they were not respecting my time. If they're not respecting your time, girl, they are not worth your time. The door is right there. We had a little bit of a schedule beef that's sorted out now, because I have a new manager and all this and all that. I be having existential crises, like crises, I don't know, like every freaking day. Work, it kind of just, I just be like, what am I doing here? Like, this isn't where I want to be. So it kind of just serves as a motivation for me to, you know, work hard for the future that I want, because honestly, I feel so bad for people who are kind of stuck, you know, in these low-paying jobs, because it's like, you deserve better. We all deserve better. I'm still having my existential crises, don't you worry. Crises, I don't know. But I just have to remind myself that this is just temporary. 9 out of 10 would not recommend. No. It's a learning experience. It definitely opened my eyes to the real world. I think getting a job when you're young and you don't necessarily have to is not a bad idea, and you got some money that you can do stuff with. So recently just maxed out my Roth IRA for 2020, which is like really exciting. I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't have a job. But yeah, there are a few things that I learned. These are things that I learned within the first 3 days of my job. I wrote them in my notes on my phone, and I just found them a few days ago, so I don't know. Like 3 days, like wow. But the first thing is that my parents work super hard. My mom literally works like every single day. Both my parents work 40 hours a week. I don't know how they do it, how they still have the energy to come home and, you know, do stuff for us and my siblings, and I don't know, it's just crazy. Number 2, retail is very messy. There has been some drama in the workplace not too long ago. It's kind of died down now, but like, people are messy. There's always gonna be some type of drama in retail, but I don't want to be involved in it, but it's there. And number 3, I have lived a privileged life. I already kind of went over this earlier, but yeah, I lived a very privileged life, and it just makes me appreciate what I have around me a little bit more. Yeah, I'm literally like squatting right now. It's so uncomfortable, so I'm probably just gonna end this video right now. If you guys have any more questions about my work experience or about working in general, please do leave them in the comments down below, and I will be sure to answer them. Comment down below what other videos you want to see me film as well. And yeah, I will see you guys later. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe as well for more content, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out. Okay.